anyone get it right?" Alaina asked. If they had, that meant someone had spilled. And the only people who knew the truth about Alaina's plans were Crystal and the clinic staff. Alaina's own mother didn't even know. And boy, was she going to be pissed when she found out Alaina was trying to make her a grandmother. Crystal shook her head as she leaned forward and retrieved her phone. "No, Isaac's already working on damage control. He's telling everyone it was a routine exam. Nothing more." Alaina threw herself back against the chair, uncaring that she was, or had been, a sweaty mess. "Is there a chance someone from the clinic said anything about what I was really doing there? How'd this picture even get taken? Come on, you know the paparazzi are cockroaches. They pop up everywhere, especially places they aren't supposed to. And no, I doubt anyone from the clinic said a word. They all signed confidentiality agreements when you selected the facility for the treatments. No one's stupid enough to risk litigation, particularly when it would be a guaranteed loss, and they'd never work in this town again." Alaina leaned her head back and stared at the ceiling, her eyes fixating on the rough wood timbers she'd installed when she'd bought the house 5 years ago. The great room was simultaneously rustic and elegant, the perfect mix of her southern roots and the elite A-list life she led now. She looked over at Crystal, who was turning her phone over and over in her hand, a nervous tic she did often, particularly since her phone was pretty much an extra appendage. "What does it look like outside?" "It's still small, but it's gathering. Everyone out there, maybe a half-dozen guys, is on the phone and yakking up a storm. Could be a full frenzy by noon. Shit." Alaina glanced at the huge wall clock made from a wood pallet. It was barely 10. "I have a call with my producing partner in a half hour." Crystal stopped rotating her phone. "Yeah? So?" "So I need to think about that and not the freak fest gathering outside." "You plan to hide in here all day?" "It wouldn't be the first time." Alaina set her hands on the arms of the chair and sighed. "So it seems." She'd had to do worse things to lay low over the years. Crystal's phone pinged, and she looked down at the screen. "Fuck." Alaina tensed. "What?" Crystal didn't take her eyes from her phone as she typed in a response to whoever had texted her and also spoke to Alaina. She was the ultimate multitasker. "The abortion thing is gaining traction. Some gal over at Fox News is already blabbing about it." Alaina jumped from the chair and began to pace. How can people be such callous jerks? Don't they realize I'm a human being with feelings? No. To them, you're a commodity, a product they can review and discuss like ketchup. Alaina stopped short and swung around to stare at Crystal. "Ketchup?" Crystal looked up at her and shrugged. "First thing that popped into my head." Figured. Crystal's love affair with ketchup was lifelong and unparalleled. Most women craved chocolate or wine, but Crystal was a ketchup connoisseur. "You should get out of town for a bit," Crystal said. "Maybe head to your place in Vale." "Like they won't find me there?" Alaina scoffed. "This is going to get ugly, isn't it?" Crystal winced. "It could." Alaina groaned as she moved into the kitchen and beelined for the fridge. She pulled out a bottle of water and took a long drink, but it did nothing to ease the ache that had started at the back of her skull. "I need to take a shower. Send Monroe out to survey things in a few minutes." Crystal stood up from the couch. "'Kay, you want him to be friendly or employ the glare of death?" The head of Alaina's security detail had a patent pending on his icy stare. It was almost as lethal as his fists. Not that he'd actually killed anyone with his bare hands. But he could, and that was the important thing. He also didn't really have a patent pending on his ability to eye slaughter, but damn, that would be awesome. Death stare, definitely. The throb in her head began to subside. Yeah, think absurd thoughts, laugh it all off, be cool. This is just another day like all the rest, in which the world at large speculates about your life, is catastrophically wrong, and judges you for it anyway. After an obscenely hot shower, Alaina closed herself in her pitch-dark closet and did yoga. She could only afford 5 minutes, but sometimes that was enough. Today it took the edge off, but 5 minutes wasn't going to cut it. This was all too personal. It was one thing to slam the outfit she'd worn to the SAG Awards, and another entirely to say she'd had an abortion. Not that she had any problem with women deciding what to do with their bodies. It was their choice, a private choice. Too bad she didn't have any privacy. And that just pissed her off. She'd rail at someone, but even Crystal, her best friend, would tell her she'd made her bed, and that there were plenty of pros to go with the cons.